Welcome to another episode of Ever After Experts. Today I'm joined by George McLeod, who's the head of hospitality at Penshurst Place. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today.
No, very welcome. Yeah, happy to be here.
So tell me, George, how did you end up becoming the head of hospitality at Penshurst Place?
So I started at Penshurst Place in 2017. At that time, we had external caterers, and I joined them initially as an events manager and moved up to general manager after a couple of months, I think. And then, so was looking after the catering side of everything at Penshurst Place. And a very long story short, a change came in 2022, and Penshurst Place decided they no longer required external caterers and wanted to bring everything in-house. So I was put as head of hospitality to join up what was two departments initially, banqueting and catering. To merge together to create hospitality.
I expect you love it there, do you?
Yes, I do. Very much so.
So tell us about the charm and the history of Penshurst Place.
The history of Penshurst Place dates back to 1341. Sir John, let me get this right. Sir John de Pulteney was the third mayor of London, very wealthy, and wanted to build a country estate for entertainment. So he did that. Then much later on, it passed through a couple of people. I think in 1519, Henry VIII attended an event at Penshurst Place and got very jealous and threatened by, I think it was Duke of Buckingham, and executed him as a traitor. And because of that, Penshurst Place came under the crown. So Henry VIII acquired it and made it his hunting lodge. That then passed down to his son, Edward VI, and he wanted to thank Sir William Sidney, who was his tutor and house steward. And when he died, Penshurst Place became the property of Sir William Sidney.
Wow.
And it has been in the Sidney family since 1552.
Gosh, that's amazing. And what do you think couples really love most about Penshurst Place?
I think they love the mix of real history, the beautiful gardens, the space. So it's lovely mix of outdoor space, indoor space. You don't have to decorate it too much. Lovely flowers and candles, but I think the sort of natural essence of what it is.
Yeah, it is. It's inside and outside. It's just stunning, isn't it? I mean, the Baron's Hall is magnificent, and the gardens. What I love about it is there's always points of interest throughout the year, isn't there, in the gardens? It's just beautiful.
Yeah, in spring, you've got all the colours and the lovely flowers that come out. Then you sort of move into the more sort of green summer.
Yeah.
If you happen to get the right time in autumn, you're getting the beautiful sort of reds and gold. So there isn't really a bad time, or a bad spot in the gardens, or the inside really for photos and your opportunities there.
Yeah. So tell me about numbers. How many weddings? How many guests can you accommodate, both inside and out?
Outside, we can do up to 200 people standing, and that's true of sort of an evening reception inside as well. Mm-hmm. For dining, we're maximum 136. So ceremonies, dining, 136, growing to 200 in the evening. And
then you've got the Sunderland room upstairs,
yes,
haven't you? So you can cater for smaller numbers as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Sunderland room is perfect for 40 to 80 people. But even if you're smaller than that, we have the buttery downstairs. So we can do a really intimate dinner in there for up to 30 people, but a long table with 15 if you wanted. So there's no right or wrong in terms of size up to our sort of top limit.
And in terms of where you can legally get married, so you've got obviously the outdoor, the courtyard, the Baron's Hall, the Sunderland room. Is there anywhere else you can get married?
Yes. So we, as a venue, we are registered, and the inside spaces that are registered, you're right, Sunderland room, Baron's Hall, Buttery, the garden room, which is a newer addition on the inside. Outside, in a courtyard, and the Nut Garden, which is our newest outside space that we've opened up for a ceremony. We've done a few down there, sort of 3 or 4 now. It's a beautiful spot down in the formal gardens. Lovely opportunity to sort of take guests actually through the formal gardens to get there. Trellised, sort of almost courtyard, sort of square space, but really works as a outside ceremony.
It's lovely, isn't it? I haven't filmed a wedding yet there, but I can't wait to because it's beautiful, really beautiful. Do you do any other events, or is it just weddings at Penshurst Place?
No, we do loads of other events, ranging from private parties, dinners, lunches, that kind of thing. Celebrations of life as well. And then lots of corporate-y sort of away days and activity days, that kind of thing.
So obviously you've got all those grounds, you've got so much parking, haven't you? So
much parking and plenty. I think the estate is something like 2,500 acres.
Wow.
There's a field we call Lake Park, which is about 30 acres. And we use that for clay pigeon shooting, quad biking, geese herding. So there's various activities that sort of companies can do for sort of away days, as well as Christmas parties, murder mystery nights, lots of things we can do.
So hang on, geese herding. What is geese herding?
Geese herding is people trying to, get geese into a pen.
Oh my goodness.
Basically.
I bet that's fun. And what is the average timeline for a wedding day at Penshurst Place? So what times generally do the ceremonies take place?
Generally either sort of 2:30 or 3 o'clock. We work around the fact that Penshurst Place is three things. It is a family home, it is a wedding venue, but it is also a tourist attraction. The main inside space being the Baron's Hall, which is what I want to use for dining and the wedding breakfast, but it is what visitors want to come and see. So there's a balance between when we can go into the hall. So that generally closes at 3:30. So we can start setting up at that point. So for couples sort of planning when their ceremony is, we're looking at how long they want their drinks reception to be, which to me is either an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah.
So if you get married at 3 o'clock, ceremony tends to be finished at 3:30, and there's an hour and a half before we would call you in to dine at 5 o'clock. And then from there, dinner tends to take about 2 hours to 2.5 hours, depending on numbers, followed by speeches, if you do it in that order, or speeches at the beginning and end dinner, into cutting the cake and dancing 8:15, 8:30. And then we run the wedding until midnight.
Right. And do couples get a dedicated coordinator on the day?
Yes, absolutely. So from the minute you book, we have a team in the office who interchangeable in terms of email communications or on the phone, or if you want to come and visit with your parents again or take your photographer to see the venue. We try and get the person who you've talked to the most to be the coordinator on a day. It doesn't always work out, but that's what we try and do. So there's a little bit of continuity there. On the day, you'll have your lead coordinator, tends to be someone with them as well, catering manager, as well as our support staff, our waiters, our waitresses. So they're well looked after.
Yeah. Well, obviously I film at your venue and I know your team, they always work so efficiently.
Thank you.
They're great.
They're very experienced. Been with us. Some of them have been with us a long time.
Yeah.
So we have a very experienced team.
So how different has it made it so much easier now the catering's come in house?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we're not waiting for someone else to tell us what the plan is or what the menus are going to be or what the pricing is. And also, there's no delay with communication for clients and couples. They email us and that's it. We can respond.
Yeah.
We do have someone sort of dedicated to that element, but the idea is that it's one team, that communication should be much clearer and we can make our own decisions.
Yeah.
Which is really important, and it keeps our pricing down.
Okay.
So there's no external caterers at other venues or wherever they might be. Generally speaking, there's a commission rate that they need to pay to that venue. We don't have that.
So you can pass it on to the customer.
Exactly.
Can you help couples plan their weddings and give them ideas on themes and suppliers?
To a certain extent. I mean, I think we toe the line between event coordinators and wedding planners. We can recommend suppliers, absolutely, and the kind of things they might want to think about. But we ourselves, I'm not a venue stylist, for example. So my theme and my ideas might be completely different to what a couple might look at. So I don't tend to go into sort of that kind of depth, but we'll absolutely give them the right people to do that.
Yeah. And how much can they personalise the venue?
The beauty of Penzance Place is it doesn't need too much personalisation. I think the idea is that you book it because of the historic nature of it. The main hall, the Baron's Hall, we can't exactly hang things from the walls or stick anything up. So the personalisation really comes from the things you can put on the tables, and the little things that make it sort of your wedding, rather than having to sort of decorate a blank canvas.
Yeah.
You can put nothing in there and it's still a stunning hall. And in fact, I often think it looks slightly nicer maybe when there's, less on the tables than too much to sort of take away from it. In the winter, if someone books a marquee, however, completely different scenario. There you really do you can make the lining and the carpet look how you want. You can, one of the more memorable ones in a marquee, a couple had, it's a 50-foot marquee, and they had a amazing sort of almost like a forest set up running down the roof, lots of branches and twigs, and it took a while to set up. But they had that freedom because it was the marquee and it looked amazing. Yeah. The other thing to think about when you're sort of setting up at Penzance Place is the fact that we can't get into the hall early.
No.
So there's no pre-setting up. We sort of set up live as we go, as you've seen. And it is all hands on deck, and it all works very, very well, but we have a limited time.
But you can in the winter, though, can't you?
You can in the winter, yeah.
So when does it close to the public?
So we close to the public at the end of October. So our winter weddings really run from mid-October to mid-May. Yes, when we're fully closed to the public, so end of October to the February half term, lots more freedom in terms of we're not now talking about visitors and walking around visitors. The timings can completely change.
And that's fabulous, isn't it? Because they have got this huge, amazing venue all to themselves then, haven't they?
Yes, completely. Yeah.
I can recall a couple of winter weddings that we filmed there. And the market, it just sits beautifully in the courtyard area, doesn't it? And
it perfectly fills it.
It doesn't feel like a marquee, does it?
No, and the way they do it and put sort of a walkway between our two arches. So once you're inside, you don't then walk outside. You can be completely covered, which is lovely. And you still get to use all of Penzance Place, just in a completely different way.
Yeah.
So you have your ceremony, for example, in the Baron's Hall, which is more difficult in the summer. And then you can use the Sunderland Room for dining and come down to the marquee for dancing, or dine in the marquee if your numbers are sort of too big. But you just utilise the rooms in a different way. You don't lose out on them.
No, it's fabulous. And there's one wedding in particular, Sarah and Jack, I think they were called.
Yes.
Absolutely gorgeous wedding. And we did it was dry day, and actually, I wouldn't say blue sky, but almost a blue sky. And this photo shoot, it was just stunning in the gardens, and we got the most beautiful footage.
Yeah, perfect example of a winter wedding there, where they got married at the church, didn't they?
That's right.
And they had a sort of medium-sized marquee. I don't think they were the biggest wedding. I think sort of 70 people or so. So they dined in the marquee.
Yeah.
Clear end on it, so you could still see Penzance Place through that. Yeah, lovely example of that.
Yeah, it was lovely. What's one of the most unusual things you've seen at a wedding?
Unusual things at weddings, animal ring bearers. Yeah, having an owl deliver the ring.
I remember that one.
An owl deliver the rings to the ceremony. That was pretty nice, pretty cool. I mean, every wedding is slightly different.
Yeah.
No two weddings are the same. You see little personalised touches, or someone has an idea and you haven't seen that before. So that it's nice to see people's different ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the owl was I was filming that, and I have to, because I'm a bit scared of birds. And I was terrified that I was going to just lose my shot, because I was filming it flying towards.
And you only get that one chance.
I did. I held my nerve. But it was incredible. I mean, It just swooped. It was beautiful, wasn't it? And
Yeah,
it just swooped down that aisle with the rings in its little bag.
Yeah, lovely idea.
Yeah.
You know, very, very unique, and we're remembering it now, however
Yeah.
many months or years
Yeah,
later.
years ago that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was amazing. So how far in advance should couples book with you for their weddings?
I would say between sort of 18 months and 2 years. And we're seeing people book much closer to that, sort of almost closer to a year out. But to give yourself enough planning time and also time to enjoy the engagement and not fill a year with the stress of sort of planning a wedding. If you give yourself that little bit more time, it just feels a bit more relaxing, and you get to enjoy things like the menu tasting and presumably sort of celebrating with friends and family and not worrying, well, I haven't done this, and this, you know, giving yourself enough time to really enjoy it and get it organised.
And then presumably they can come to the venue a few times, can they, within that time?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we even recommend, particularly with people like, you know, photographers, videographers, people who've got to capture the moments. There's so many opportunities at Penshurst Place that if someone hasn't visited us before, trying to find all those spots on the day will just take too long.
Yeah.
So yeah, highly recommend that they come. And usually I try and say, come here the day of your wedding, but the year before.
Yes.
To see exactly what's in bloom, what the gardens look like. And they may not look exactly the same, but you'll get a fairly good idea to really plan, you know, either a colour theme or where you want to take those photos.
Yeah. So you have a list of recommended suppliers for your couples?
We do, yes.